It came up in one of our sessions the other day that one of the persons that was having to coach somebody said that the part they hated the most was having to critique somebody because they were concerned about how they would take the criticism. And I think that brings up a really interesting topic, is to think about the difference when you want to coach somebody versus critique somebody. So now, granted, they are close, and you need to do both in each one. But think about if you were going to go up to somebody and say, "Hey, do you mind if I critique what you're doing?" Think about what would happen. Think about those two words versus if I came up to you and said, "Hey, is it okay if I give you a little coaching?" See, coaching versus critiquing can be altogether the difference just in mindset between you and the learner. So think about this. There's a couple things you always have to remember when you're coaching or you're setting up a critique. Number one is just ask their permission. Just like I did a second ago, I said, "Hey, listen, I noticed something was going on there, and I know I've had the same problem as that in the past. Would you mind if I shared something with you on how to correct that?" Is about ask permission. Second thing is about rapport. You want to build a rapport with that person, particularly, you might have it if you're working with them all the time. It might, if it's your first time coaching, build that up. That even if you're coaching somebody all the time, they might look up at you and feel a little bit intimidated because they view you as someone who is the expert. Think of it this way. If you share your vulnerability with them, it brings you down in their mind to their level, and they see you as one-on-one. You had the problem. I have that problem. I've got pain from it right now, and I know that I trust you, so I know you can help me with it. So I'll say, sure. So the number one is to ask permission. Number two is rapport. Number three is that you want to make sure that you're doing all of this without negative charge, and that means that you want to do positive frame everything. So if you don't come up to somebody and say, "Look, never hold your brush like that," but a positive framing would be say, "Look, I see what you're doing, but here's the way that we found that really works to get the results that you want, so you're not getting a splotchy effect with that brush." Always try to catch them doing something right. The next part is about caring. I'm sure you see that all the time. If you're coaching somebody, critiquing somebody, pick your word, they can tell whether you care about what the results that they get or whether you don't. So, just always telling them, "Look, you got this. I'm proud of you. I know that you can do this. You're doing good," particularly when they're struggling with something at the very beginning. The more you do that, the more that they know that you care. So remember, it is about ask permission. It's about rapport. It is about caring for them. And it's about delivering your message without a negative charge. And just remember about those words themselves, about critiquing. At one point, you are going to have to catch them and correct what they're doing wrong. But remember this, always coach on their behavior, never the person. So you would say it's not about you're doing this wrong. It would be when someone holds their angle like this, that's going to give you this negative result. You see it? So remember that. It'll make your coaching, your critiquing that much easier.